Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is our another episode of podcast slash interviews with interesting people from crypto world. And yeah, I'm happy to present to you James, founder of NexCrow, a Solana-based escrow platform on the Nexus protocol. We've actually met before. So James, I'm happy to see you again, man. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me. I was really excited when I heard about the interview that you guys were going to be having me. So thank you very much once more for having me. I feel really good to be here.
Yeah, and you're a pretty interesting persona here because James, your journey into Web3 isn't sugar coated. Because I've done some research, and unlike like others, success-based personalities in crypto and founders that they say they gain it all. Your
Yeah,
journey been kind of rocked, and you did a lot of fail and still kept
yeah,
building, right? So what kept you
yeah.
doing that? What kept you going? And in the times when most would have just quit.
Yeah. Oh, it's been quite a journey. One thing I would say is that early on, I sort of figured out that this is my calling. I sort of picked that out. I sort of had that mentality and had at the back of my head that okay, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do. And definitely, it's not going to be an easy road. It's not going to be an easy one. So I don't know. I feel like I had this sort of mental preparation ahead of time that considering how I'm starting up, considering how I'm getting into this space, considering how new the space is, things may not actually come as easy as you think or you expect it to be. They're going to be tough times, there are going to be ups and downs, but you need to make sure that you're still showing up. You got to make sure that you're still building, you're still trying to put something out there. Things are that's pretty much it. So for me, it came from more of a mentality side of things. It's something that I've always felt like I had so much interest in. I love doing, and so far I actually love what I'm doing so far. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So there was one project that I've done some research, and it was called like Bone Club, and it didn't launch.
Yeah.
So you got rocked by the project, but actually you helped grow. So how did you react to that, and what did those moments teach you?
Okay. So for one of the exact projects, I know I remember one of those projects I worked with. We helped we raised the capital or raised some capital for them about
And what
60K to
position were you
100K.
taking, by the way, by that
Oh yeah,
time?
that was Arcane Valley. That was the name of the project. It was more of an NFT project, but had ties with the traditional side too. So they were looking to work on a travel agency that could accept crypto payments, and then have the NFT side of it, helping like membership thereabouts that allows you to access some bit of discounts from the travel agency side. So that was what we were looking to build, and we had raised some bit of funds from NFT sales that period that helped with gathering the team, hiring people, interviewing them, managing both the team and the community. Pretty much helped with that. But then after the raise, you start to see some bit of funny attitudes here and there.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on? Or the community is waiting for you to drop an update, or the team is waiting for an update from you. What's going on? Those sort of things. So that happened about two, three occasions, and I was like, nah, I think it's best I just take what I have and use it to work on what I want to do. So for Bone Club was pretty much the second product that I started working on. I was working on. I wanted to launch it on the Aptos blockchain there, so I wanted to launch it on there, but it turned out that the timing for it was not right. That's what we pretty much learned from it. The timing was not right. We learned that at some point, yeah, hype drives a lot of things in the market, but if you don't properly time yourself, and if you don't exactly see if you can't see how long term this is going to be on that end, then sometimes you might have to like rework it or replan it, or with something. So we sort of looked at it and we noticed that the direction the market is going in, or the direction things are going in, this product might not be able to really survive much in the market, unless, perhaps the technology improves or perhaps something comes up. You know how catalysts work in the space. So something comes up and then we're like, okay, I think we can revisit this and work on it again. But at the moment, that's just pretty much it for the Bone Club.
Basically, everything should be in the right time, in the right place, right?
Yeah. I'll pretty much say that because, as I said, it comes down. You work with a lot of data. You have to. You also work with a lot of data. You have to work with a lot of intuition as well. And when your numbers are saying, okay, this might not be favorable at this period, or from this period to this period, because we have to also look at the long-term perspective as well. So if you look at it and you see that, okay, this is not looking favorable for the long-term perspective right now, that is when you might likely have to pivot, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And I was asking, what position were you taking? So basically what I'm going to is, like, you wore many hats. I believe you were a designer, community manager. I'm reading like fundraiser, founder, basically. So yeah, what changed you the most, and which one was the toughest?
Okay, so I would say the development and the software engineering side of things, the coding side of things had to be the craziest, because for a long time I could connect with everyone. Yeah, my team. I knew so like the fundamental side of other things besides the coding. Like, yeah, I did have some bit of coding knowledge back, but I had like a long pause. I had to like do other things. So coming back to it again after such a long time, and with very limited knowledge, it was a really, really challenging thing. And it's still something that I'm still learning on a daily basis. I'm still having to grow with it. But for a long time, I could connect with almost every other person on my team. But with my developers, it was like there was this brick wall. Like, yes, they're still carrying out my vision. They can see what I see. I know how to communicate things across to them. But I exactly could not connect with them from a development standpoint. So when they are talking about, okay, there might be an issue here if you do this, or this might happen, that might happen. I needed to like find a way to properly connect with my developers. So I had to then start going into that's when I had to start going. Thank goodness for a lot of the AI tools that we have these days. They help with making coding a whole lot easier. They help with making learning a whole lot easier as well. So, we pick it up and we'll be running through it. So a whole lot of errors. There are some errors you will see that will pretty much change your life. That will change your perspective of things. And so you go with those errors. There are times you come back. Sometimes you might have you're on one particular issue. I sort of saw it as more of a like puzzle. Like it might like a game. You get like a puzzle, trying to solve this puzzle, trying to figure this out, trying to sort this out. There's this joy that comes when you finally sorted out that error.
That teaches you like the most, stuff. Yeah. And now that you're a founder, how do you basically spot red flags in the projects now? So whether in teams, investors, or partners. So yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, I look for some of the basic cues. You get. Try to make sure that you are who you say you are. Try to verify that you are who you say you are. And then I try to look at your thought process, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you put things out there. And then I also have my team too. I also put it out there. What do you think about this person? This is what I think. What is your own thought of this person? So most it's not exactly something that you can sort out alone. You need as much data when you're dealing with people, because people sometimes might not be who they claim to be. They might not be who they say they are. So you need to always make sure that you're as much as you're free and open, you're also as cautious as possible. You want to be able to spot red flags. I think there was a couple of days ago. I think I'm going to put out a tweet on that as well, where I met someone that came as a scam investor. I wanted to. I wanted came across him as like a scam investor. I wanted me to like hop on a call and all that, and how I was able to like detect it quickly. I put out tweets on that from time to time when I spot a couple of scammers and all. So it still just comes down to most times trusting your intuition. You get if it looks too good to be true, it's most likely too good to be true.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Got some mistakes in my past as well. And back to you actually, James. So now you are in NexCrow. So tell us about it. So what problem are you solving, and basically for who?
So NexCrow is the product that is actually quite close to me. I would say that because the problems that I'm solving with NexCrow, I have experienced those problems myself. Okay, I experienced those problems myself, and I know that there are other people that also experience those problems. I've also had to talk to them, had to do some bit of validations, have discussions with them, feedback and all. So like when I was working with a couple of founders, and then they would rug and they would have that issue. So, that is when the whole idea of the escrow side of things started coming in. There aren't many reliable or good platforms around by that time that you could use for escrow transactions. So I know that I experienced things from the freelancer side. And then when I became a founder, I also had to experience things from the founder side too. Having to work with a couple of freelancers or people that either they're not giving you their 100% when you're expecting it from them, or they just straight up ghost on you. And I had a couple of situations like that where you sometimes you pay the person up front because you're at least trying to trust the person, and then they ghost on you too. So these are things that I know I experienced it myself, and I've talked to other people, we've spoken with community, and these are people that have also experienced these problems too. We have a couple of different case studies as well, people dropping out tweets of issues where they had things like that. So this is our own way of wanting to solve this problem, pushing a solution further.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. And why Solana? Because you're building on Solana, and what makes Solana the right choice? How did it influence your product design decisions?
Yeah. Well, for me, Solana has always been like the right choice for me. Aside the fact that I pretty much started up a big part of my crypto journey on Solana before I started touching a couple of other chains as well. The fact that Solana sort of taught me that a lot of things are possible. If you're willing to actually put in the time, things that people think are impossible can actually be possible. That is when I started working I was thinking about my first idea, and looking at the Solana infrastructure, I was like, this can actually work. This can actually, and that's one of the I'm still actually working on that idea. I'm working on it with Bone Shamans. That's my I'm working on it with Bone Shaman. Bone Shaman is the first my first project, the first project that I put out there. And that was where we're putting Bone Club under, but we couldn't work with the product. So we're putting that one under there. And so it's the very first idea that came to me when I got into Solana as well. So and when it comes to like the infrastructure, the architecture, things being fast, the user experience and all, I feel like it's a lot more user friendly compared to some of the other chains I had also touched back and forth too. So it's that was what pretty much pushed my decisions, the design decisions, and then the community as well. The community can be pretty super supportive most times, especially the foundation. Like you just know that the community, the Solana community can be very tight. So these are some of the things that you have to also consider once you're working on things. How are you going to get things out there? Who are the people you're going to be talking? Who are the people you're going to be partnering with? All of these different things really also matter when it comes to looking at the decision that we go with.
Yeah, I can confirm that. It's pretty sure that you're very present in the Solana community. So why do you think Solana still needs to go truly mainstream?
Okay. Personally, I think they need to. Well, so far, most of the things they've been doing so far are really, really good. But I think they just need to double down on what they're doing that's already working for them. Like the hackathons, like the support that they're putting to get given to projects, the support they give to the super team ecosystem. Those different things they are already. People can see from the numbers that they are working. So there's most times when it's already working, you don't need to change what is working, or you don't need to break what is working. So it's working. You can always add to it, double down on it, double down on what you're already doing that's working. So that is one thing I can say, that just pretty much to double down on what they've been doing, making the user experience a whole lot better than what it currently is. Because if you look at from when Solana pretty much started off, because I was one of the few people that used Solid during that time, when the very early set of Solana wallets, I used Solid that period. And if you look at that period down to now, with the kind of wallets that are out there, like Phantom and the rest, there's been a huge change, huge growth, a whole lot of things. So I know that it's currently on the right trajectory. You just need to pretty much double down on what they're doing that works, and then I trade on the ones that they've done or they've tested with that did not exactly work as well.
And referring to your development background, so what do you think? How do you balance between building for users versus building for devs or ecosystem players?
I'll pretty much say that comes down to the earliest part of the idea most times. Mm-hmm. Again, once an idea comes into me, I want to be able to profile the people that I'm looking to build this solution for. Again, you want to be able to that's where you have to do your market research. You have to validate it as well. So before I start to put anything out there, I still try to make sure that the people I'm trying to build it for, I've at least had some bit of discourse with them, had some bit of talking, and so understand. So it helps with balancing things. Although there are a couple of products that that are two-sided, like NexCrow at this point is actually two-sided, where you have to work with the ecosystem team and then also have to work with the freelancers on that side. So you pretty much have to. What I do most times is try to take on the persona of any of the people that I'm going to be working with. I first of all try to take on that persona, try to understand, see things from their own point of view, and then still talk to them, still try to validate any of those ideas. So it helps to ensure that there is we know exactly who we're building for. We know exactly who are the people that are going to be reaching out to for this solution. Although, as I said, there are products that can reach out to a wide range of people. It's still one of my plans for things to be able to reach out to a wide range of people. I'm the kind of person that likes to solve two, three problems with one stone. So that's the thing. But it just comes down to most times understanding. Sometimes try to take up the persona of who you're trying to reach out to. Try to understand things from an emotional standpoint, from a point of connection. So these are all of the different things I usually look to, and it usually helps with that particular distinction.
Yeah, this is why I'm asking that, because suffice to say, now you're actually being backed by the Super Team NG and the Solana Foundation itself. So what advice do you give, what advice would you have for early builders looking to earn that kind of trust in the ecosystem?
I would say that you just need to keep pushing. That's what I would say. Sometimes it's a long process. It's a long process. There are times when you would have to apply over and over again. There are times when you have to deal with different kind of rejections, So you just need to like keep building, keep showing up. You believe in what you're working on. Yeah. So you need to be able to push that vision out there. You're the only person that can see. Most times, you're the only person that can see your own vision. Most people cannot see it until you properly communicate it across. So you need to like learn to invest in yourself. That's one big thing that will always help. Invest in yourself, invest in how you can communicate across, clearly invest in your mindset and the way you think, and then, try to keep showing up on a daily basis. One thing is that people are always watching, people are always looking, like those things you put out there, those things that you're putting out there, those times when you even when you're having some bit of doubt, but you're still putting things out there, you're still believing in yourself, still trying to be as consistent. People can see and usually recognize all of these different things. So that's what I can pretty much say.
So, James, in a nutshell, speaking of the builder mindset now, how it is actually difficult to build as a freelancer or founder, so, alone by itself? Is it really hard, or you just gotta keep pushing?
It's at first it usually starts out pretty hard, but as you go on, as you meet more people, as you network better, as you refine, it starts to get a bit easier. I can't really say it starts to get easier, but you start to adapt more. You get, the more you adapt, the more it works for you. So that's the thing. So it's you just have to first of all be willing to take that first step. You get to be willing to talk to this person, reach out. You feel like, okay, I think this person is going to be somebody I can work with. You feel free to reach out to the person, talk to the person. It's one of the ways I and my co-founder, my CTO, actually met. I think I was handling a project back then, and then he reached out and was like, okay, I do this, I do that. What are some things that you'd like to work on? And I was like, sure, I'll let you know once I'm ready. And once I was ready, I reached out to him. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I would like us to do. How can we do this? How can we achieve that? And it's been going pretty well so far. There's been ups and downs, but we've been pushing strong for about 3 years plus now as co-founders, and so that's pretty much.
And that's
pretty much
yeah. Do you ever actually feel burned out? So what do you do with that when this hits?
Well, there are times. There are times when you might feel burned out, because you're always running. Most times as a founder, your brain is always running. Your brain is always running.
I feel that. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, it's always running 24/7. Sometimes you can find yourself sleeping, thinking while you're sleeping. So it's always running. But you try to. There are times when you need to learn to like slow down things, and the times when you need to learn to also delegate things. You need to learn to ask for help. Sometimes you reach out to someone. I'm like, look, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. This is what I have in mind. I would like you to like help me with this. Can you get this done for me? It's one thing because a lot of people struggle with asking for help most times. A lot of people struggling with asking for help. So it takes a whole lot of ego depth for you to actually recognize that you need help at this point. So all of these different things are things that you usually have to consider. You have to always like look into as you're starting out. And as I said before, as the more you go on, the easier, the more people you're going to meet. The more you can communicate your vision across, and the more people you can easily meet that you'll be able to work with on that.
And are you motivated by solving problems or proving people wrong?
I would say it's a healthy mix of both of them.
Okay, let's go down to that.
I'd say it's a healthy mix of both of them. Because most times once I see a problem and I feel like this is a problem that will be interesting to solve. What is something I can build to help solve this problem? And and most times when you're pushing it, you meet some people that are like, okay, I don't think this is going to work out, and then that's sort of like adds as an extra boost or an extra feel for you.
Yeah.
That's nice too. But so yeah, I'll say it's a healthy mix of both of them. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of the future and the future vision, so where do you see NexCrow taking place in next, say, 12 or 18 months?
Okay. Well, first of all, we already have a standard roadmap that we're pretty much following. We have our KPIs and milestones that we've also put in place. We're looking to hit, we're looking at to hitting from the number of sign-ups, people getting in, down to the number of users you're making use of the services. So we're looking at a situation where, based on the targets that we've put in place, in the next couple of, say, 6 to 12 months, we've been able to hit those targets, hit those milestones, get people on the platform, get people using it, get people understanding how important it is to ensure that you have some bit of security when going into deals. When going into talks with people, perhaps you're an investor wanting to go into a deal with a founder, you have that bit of added security on there. So these are some of the things that we're looking to tackle within the next 6 to 12 months is, first of all, get most of our products out there, get most of our different features out there, like our AI agents that we're also working on. Get these things out there, fix up as many things that need to be fixed up, iterate on it, and then keep pushing and scaling to as many people as possible. See how many people need the solution and reach out to them. So one thing that's, as I said, between the next 6 to 12 months, we know that we're going to be at a very good place. I can say that for sure. But we
will.
That's the plan. That's the plan. To get things moving, get people in, get as many people in, get people using the product, the services, as many partners too as possible. Get the right partners too. And ensure that things are safe, secure, and people are enjoying it. People are giving good feedback on it. They're happy to use the product. They're happy that it's solving their problem, and then we're scaling the numbers too. That's the plan for say the next 6 to 12 months. Get everything out there that we're working on, and then keep scaling our numbers.
Well, James, it was so nice talking to you, but it's not the end. Actually, I've prepared for the dessert, like a bonus rapid fire round. So those are sharp, short questions, and you gotta provide short, honest answers until no overthinking, maybe a couple of secs. And that's pretty much it. So let's start right now. Okay, I got 5 of them, and I'm gonna shoot it the first one. So first goes like this. Worst Web3 advice you ever got?
Worst Web3 advice I got. I would say something around meme coins.
Oh,
I think that was when I got. That was when I got in newly into the Web3 space, and they were like, "Yo, you can make money quickly." And it wasn't wrong, but it's when you're getting into the space with that kind of mindset, it's not a helpful kind of advice for you to be getting. Yeah.
Okay, next one. A tool, or maybe crypto tool, or maybe tool in general you can't live without.
A tool in general I can't live without. At the moment, I'd say ChatGPT and Cursor at the moment, because they work like my other brains. Again, to help to iterate, go over ideas over and over again. So I'd say about ChatGPT, Cursor, Z is, as I said, our personal AI agent that we're working on. So most times I work within the 3 of them, and so that's
Yes.
WhatsApp too.
Okay, next. Underrated project in the Solana ecosystem.
Underrated project. Am I allowed to be biased?
Yeah, I think you're allowed to do anything here.
Yeah, I would say NexCrow. I would say NexCrow is a very underrated project at the moment, due to the fact that we're
taken. Okay.
early. Yeah. very early. Things are really, really early. We're still
and
getting into the pre-seed round. So yeah, it's very, very early and underrated at the moment. So yeah.
okay, next, most overhyped buzzword in the crypto right now.
Almost overhyped buzzword. Overhyped.
Yes,
Why?
I'd say me.
I mean, I know GM. There's a regular GM, but I don't want to call it overhyped. That's more of a culture side of thing, the GM side of crypto. Overhyped. Well, aside people's bags being down, nah. I don't know. Nothing's really coming to mind at the moment. Sorry.
Okay, last one. One thing Web3 still doesn't get about real users.
One thing that Web3 still doesn't get is the fact that there is always enough face. You don't necessarily have to always compete. That is one thing I would say. The fact, first of all, the Web3 space is still growing. That's one thing I will always say. If you look at the percentage of the Web3 space and then compare it to the global market, compare it to the global population and all, you'd see that it's still a pretty much small population compared to that. So there's still so much out there that we can get. There's still some more market share out there that we can get. So most times I would say yes, healthy competition is good. It helps with driving and pushing innovation. But getting to the point where you're pretty much a lot more focused on competition than wanting to actually scale. Because one thing my dad always said is that there's always a space for the best at the top. He always says that, and that's one thing I've always really believed. Again, if you're doing something good, you're building something valuable, and you're putting it out there. People are saying that you're putting in that effort to put it out there. You're looking to get it to people, and people see it as valuable enough. You are still going to be able to make it. It's not a this one must die before this must grow. So that's pretty much what I have to say.
Yeah, that's really not a short answer, but really truthful one. So yeah, James, thank you so much for being here on this call, for featuring, ladies and gentlemen. We had a nice conversation with James, founder of NexCrow. Just reminding you, a Solana-based crowd platform under Nexus protocol. So yeah, James, thank you so much for being on this call. I think we had a nice conversation about, resilient product truth and, the real community in Solana. And wishing you best of luck, James.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's really great talking to you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Do have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, totally, man. See you. See you next one.
Yeah, thank
Cheers.
you.